The following video contains images of alcohol use. Viewer discretion advised.
The world's highest rated gin for the world's highest rated job.
But this is good.
Hello and welcome to Sobriety Made Simple. My name is Timothy Martin. Today I would like to discuss why it is so hard to stop drinking. Why do so many people have a problem after they've already made the decision to stop drinking? Now there are many reasons why this is, but this is one reason in particular I want to focus on today. And it was one of the reasons why it was so hard for me to keep up with it. It might be the same reason it is for you. In America, we live in a very pro-drinking society. Not only is drinking legal, it's commercialized, it's very glamorized. In almost every TV show or movie you see, alcohol is prevalent. People taking a drink to unwind, or taking a drink because they're stressed, or any type of social function or gathering, there's alcohol. It's a drug that is used everywhere. You can't go see a movie or watch a TV show without seeing alcohol. Also, if you like sports like I do, every time there's a commercial break, there's an alcohol commercial. Literally, the commercial itself is about alcohol. Or there's a commercial about a sports bar or a restaurant where everyone in it is, of course, having fun and drinking. That makes it tough. When the society you live in is a pro-drinking society, it almost feels like you're an outcast or odd if you don't drink. And again, it being legal, it's sold everywhere, in every convenience store, in every restaurant, every grocery store. So when it comes time for you to stop, it's like your drug of choice is for sale everywhere you go because it's legal. Could you imagine the effect on a heroin or a cocaine addict if they were trying to stop and every store they went into, there's heroin and cocaine for sale? Or they advertise it on TV. Every time you turn on the TV and saw a commercial, there's somebody doing heroin or cocaine in the commercial. They're advertising it for sale. It would be close to impossible for them to stop. So that's what we deal with. We're dealing with our addiction as well as the social aspect and the legal aspect of alcohol. That makes it even harder for us. Drinking is so fixed into our society, it's almost like a rite of passage when you're young, to go out and get drunk, to experience alcohol. And of course, young people are usually binge-type drinkers. I know I was. They go out to parties and they want to experience what it feels like to be drunk, and they want to have that feeling, so they drink excessively. And that does set up a certain pattern about how drinking is perceived. To binge drink, to drink until you're drunk. And then you're out of control, and it carries on from a young age to high school to college, and then it forms a possible lifelong habit. And when you're in your adult life, you drink to excess. It's just considered normal. I was a bar person. And I know going to a bar, you see things at the beginning of the night. People are kind of normal acting. And then as the night progresses, one drink turns into several, and several turns into many. And the atmosphere in the bar starts to change. And by the end of the night, it's just craziness. And that's the normal thing. That's what the bar wants. It's a business. They want to get you drunk to get your money. And they capitalize off you being drunk because it's the way to separate you from your money. Businesses pushing alcohol on people. They don't care if you're hooked on it. They want to keep their business going. Also, alcohol is relatively inexpensive. Beer, wine, liquor, very cheap to get. Very cheap to get drunk. Another reason why it's so hard, the commercialization of it. The business aspect of it is to keep you drinking. Being raised in a pro-drinking society gets you drinking at a young age. The ease of access, the expense. Okay, now why am I bringing all this shit up? It's hard enough for you to stop drinking, and why am I depressing you with all this other stuff?
What the fuck is the matter with you?
I'm sorry if it seems that way. The reason I'm doing this is because if you realize the outside forces coming into your life, you might be able to handle it a little better. I saw this commercial on TV. I want to go out to a bar and have fun. And maybe that does leave an impression on you that you might forget at the time, but it might come up later as you're driving by a bar. If you're not aware of it, but if you are aware of it, to watch out for that aspect of it, that business side of it, that draw that they're putting on you. The fact that we do live in a pro-drinking society, you might be able to rid yourself of things like that. Maybe it might be best for you not to watch sporting events, or it might be best for you to stay away from television during certain times when they're showing these types of commercials until you feel a little stronger in your recovery. Knowing things like that might help you out just a little bit, just to give you a little bit more edge to get you through. I know for me, when I stopped, I got away from television. I didn't watch sporting events. I'm a football fan, and I didn't watch football for the first season that I was sober. It wasn't until my second year that I was able to comfortably watch football games again. I stay out of restaurants that serve alcohol. I don't ever go to sports bars anymore. There's no reason for me to do that. I know my limitations, but knowing possible triggers for you is better than not knowing and constantly going into this vicious cycle, this loop of trying to stop and then relapsing. If you're aware of those things, it might help you. But there is good news. After a certain amount of time, your habits start to change. Your thought process starts to change. Your decision to drink alcohol isn't going to be some knee-jerk reaction to handle stress or problems, or simply wanting to feel the effects of alcohol, wanting to be drunk. Once you get past that first few months, you'll start forming new habits, and the decision to drink actually is going to be more of a thought process. You're going to have to use your prefrontal cortex and really think about drinking before you do it. And that might be your saving grace, because in order for you to drink, you're going to have to make the real decision to drink. And that's when most of us are going to be able to say no. If I was going to drink now, I would actually have to put a lot of thought into it. I would have to stop into some place, a convenience store, to grab a six-pack of beer or to go to a bar and order a drink. That would take a large amount of thinking for me to do, because my habits have changed to a point where it would be alien for me to actually be around alcohol in the first place. Second of all, to actually have to physically touch it. I would have to put my hands on a case of beer or a bottle of liquor, and that would be very strange for me to do now. To pull out money to buy it, to go into a bar and order it. That knee-jerk reaction when you first stop is thoughtless. You're going into a store and you're buying beer, or you're going to a bar and you're ordering the same drink. You don't think about that. But once you get away from it for a while, it turns into an event. It would be a weird thing to do. So the risk-reward isn't worth it anymore. I know what's going to happen if I start down that road again. So higher brain function is going to kick in, is what I'm trying to say. You'll say no because you've just been away from it for a long period of time. And that's the great thing about abstinence, is being away from alcohol for a length of time is what changes your thought process. It changes your behavior. You'll think, wow, do I really want to drink again? Do I really want to start that shit up again? You know, especially if you've already had a few months under your belt, you'll think about losing all that. And that could be that point, that decision that you decide to stop, and stop permanently. I know, folks, sometimes that drink seems like the thing that you can't wait to get. I know, but it does take away from you. A little at a time, it takes you away from you. I know that drink will take the pain away. At least it did for me. I know that feeling, but it doesn't last. This does. It will change you. No more crutches. Start thinking that way. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't. It helps me to continue to make these videos. Now you take care of yourself, and remember, you got this.